I'm going to start this video by showing you all of the artwork that I prepared for my major project. I painted these in the studio because I needed to have a feel about how the animals were going to look as applique, what animals to use, and I started to get a really good idea about what I would include in my major work, and also to see what how the shapes complemented each other, how the colours would work. This one here of the harvest mice I painted at home, and I found that it was a good thing to do because I had to think about size, proportion, what to include, how I could sort of show texture through stitch, and also it really helped with deciding on colours, and also helped me to really understand sort of the little body parts so that I could know how to create them as a plique and sort of section them all out. And the main piece here, the hair, which I painted in the studio, this was the first painting that I created, and it's been the inspiration for the whole design collection, really. And it's got character, and I decided then what I would sort of continue doing for the major project, just based on this one picture, really. Right, this is the main hero design, which is on the toast navy wool, which I'll sort of show in a moment. When I appliqued the hair, I just felt that it needed something there. It just looks sort of a hair in the middle of the fabric, and I thought that it just needed something else. So I decided, out of all the different plants, to create a foxglove, because they're quite tall plants and it meant that it would really show up next to the hair. I decided to paint the foxglove just to get a feel of shapes, because it's all in fabric, but I decided not to do the pink foxglove but the sort of purpley blue foxglove, because the blue was more of an accent colour, and that colour and the hair seemed to just blend and look better together. So once I decided, yes, I'm going to create an applique foxglove, I started here with a piece of thin paper, and I actually started to draw with the hair next to it so that I got the actual size. As you can see, I've put lots of notes on how I was going to cut out sort of these bits for French knots, etc., so that I had a feel for the shapes, and then I began to think about the fabrics. So I dyed blue fabric, sort of ombre style, so that I had the different variated colours, which are actually the way the flowers on the foxglove then were made. So that's the hero panel there. The next item I decided to make, again with applique, because I'm focusing on applique work here and the simpleness of the Japanese shibori stitch technique, which is running stitch. This particular piece was hand sewn, and it started off with me drawing a sort of a smaller hair. I then progressed to thinking about possibly different animals sort of going all the way around the lamp cover, but as I started to paint and move along, I decided this wouldn't really work as an applique, because the parts were very intricate, which wouldn't normally be a problem, but I felt that this particular design would have been better printed on fabric rather than appliqued with lots of different densities and stitch work. And finally, my fox. The fox wall panel that I made, which I'll be showing them all shortly. This was the first stage where I drew a fox's face. I couldn't photograph a fox down the wood because they were too quick and elusive, so I had to look at lots of different pictures on Pinterest, but compose my own face. So I did that. And the next stage was that I decided, how is the background going to be? What am I going to do for the background? I considered making a sort of a path with a woodland scene with bluebells. I also decided maybe to give it more sort of design elements, but in the end I decided not to, because these are the parts that I was going to screen print, just to give the work a background interest, not actually applique, because I wanted the fox to be the main focus of the applique and the bluebells. So the background wasn't of much importance to the overall outcome of the design, but I decided not to do this because it just wouldn't have worked.